All right, we're back. Hopefully with no robot voices this time. Twitch chat, please help me out. Please tell me it's all working.
I think it's good. I think it's good. So, welcome back, guys. It's been a weekend.
That's right. My stream is risen. Happy Easter. It died last week.
It died on Friday.
It died last week. Technically, it died last Thursday. And now it is back. More glorious than ever, hopefully. All sins have been forgiven. All streaming sins.
Welcome. Welcome.
Is it working?
I think so. Yeah, it's good.
It's good. No robot voices. So,
all right.
Hilariously, for those of you who are in the IT tech support saga of our stream on Thursday, or for Thursday.
I don't remember.
A day. Oh, it was Friday, because we tried Thursday and then we had to try Friday. Oh, it was Good Friday.
It was Good Friday. For us, it was Saturday. Or it might have been Thursday.
Thursday night.
I don't know, whatever.
Anyway, nobody will watch today because now we're making Bulgogi on Easter Sunday night, which is probably not too popular amongst most people. Probably should have scheduled that better with some lamb or something like that, but screw it. This is the beta version of the stream. It's still going to be great. We're still going to make Bulgogi. It's still going to go up on YouTube and be edited. So we have all of that going for us. So we're going to make Miyeok today, too, which is a seaweed soup to accompany our Bulgogi. I would start making your Bulgogi by making some rice. Now, you see, I've already started the rice in my rice cooker, but you should probably do that now. If you want rice with your Bulgogi. You don't have to eat rice with your Bulgogi. That's optional.
But you might want rice with your Miyeok too.
That's true.
So I suggest making the rice. And if you don't have a rice cooker, you can order from Amazon or anywhere of your choice. Hetbun. Hetbun is a microwavable sticky white rice that you can get that's Korean. And so you stick it in the microwave for like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and you'll have nice piping hot white rice to accompany your meal if you don't have a rice cooker.
No, I'm not making white rice, though. I'm making Korean purple rice. You'll see. It'll be prettier.
You could also buy purple rice.
You can.
Through Hetbun.
You can. You can.
Okay. So let's get started then.
Let us get started.
Lettuce? We're not using lettuce today.
We are. We're using some.
Oh, yeah.
We definitely are using lettuce, Susie Kim. All right. So we have our delightful cameras. I'm going to show you guys everything that we got here. I will put all of my ingredients out for you first.
What about making rice in a pot? Oh, yeah, you could do that too.
What are you, some kind of peasant?
I was like, rice in a pot? Oh, this is a white person thing. I've always grown up with a rice cooker, so it's new to me.
Thing is, rice cookers are cheap and very useful, so it's better to grab one if you can.
All right. I'm going to camera 2, so make everything look pretty over there.
I'm trying.
Are you going to 3? All right, we'll go to 3.
I'm trying. All right. I'm trying to make everything look pretty so that we can do this properly.
Is camera 3 frozen? I definitely don't see scallions on camera 3. Oh, there it is. It updated.
I see.
Yes, we are not robots today. Welcome back, everyone.
It was actually the world's dumbest problem, guys. It was the world's dumbest problem. So the problem was that one of the HDMI cables to one of the cameras was causing some kind of interference. That's what it was. I think camera 3 is frozen.
It is, right?
It's not updating cleanly. Okay, we have more tech problems. That's fun, which is interesting because it's correct up here. One moment, please, guys. It is definitely not correct in the switcher, though.
Is that better?
That appears to be better.
All right.
Just unplug it and plug it in again.
Sorry, guys. Or you're welcome, guys, for that ass shot. All right, so here we go. This is the spread, but you can show them on two. All the things you got.
Okay. So this is what we're going to use to make bulgogi today. Should be good. So let's take a look at this. You're
Two.
just sitting on 2 the whole time.
No, I'm on 3 right now.
We're on 3. All right.
You can show them on 2.
No, this is 3 is good.
3 is good.
3 is good. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to make a marinade. First off, we are going to do some velveting of the steak, which is a Chinese technique, which is going to make it a little bit softer and more tender, the meat. This is baking soda. It says baking soda in English here. It says baking soda in Korean right here. 100% food grade. That's good. We don't want any 50% food grade baking soda. This is not something that's done by most Koreans, I will say. A lot of them prefer to do their marinades with some kind of fruit juice, but I do not think that is necessary, and in fact could be not good in a lot of circumstances. So the other thing we've got going here, I'm just going to straighten this thing out. Hold up, guys. I had to bump it around a little bit. Nope. The other way?
Would you like me to do it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I will. Ouch. Killed myself with the mic, and then.
Don't hurt yourself.
Okay. I got it. I got it. Is that better?
It's tilted.
That way?
That looks good.
It looks good. Okay. Hold on. Let me not die.
All right, so we're going to use 1.5 pounds of ribeye. This is ribeye that I frozen. It's a little bit oxidized, but it's fine. This is not 1.5 pounds / 700 grams of ribeye. This is half of the steak I'm going to be using, but this is pretty, so you guys get to look at it here. Like I said, we're going to be doing a baking soda and water solution to velvet it prior to making it. We have 6 cloves of garlic over here. We have this is a small yellow onion. You'll use half of it if you have a medium or larger one. I'll probably just use the whole thing. It's going to be blended up into a marinade. We are going to use honey. And I have some brown sugar here that will also be going into the marinade. I have toasted sesame oil. Again, you guys, unless you read Korean, will not be able to read a bunch of this stuff, so sorry. This is soy sauce that we are going to be using. This is, well, you could read this. Kirkland Signature black pepper. 3 green onions and toasted sesame seeds. And we'll use some cooking oil as well, but I assume you don't need to look at a bottle of cooking oil. So these are the ingredients that are going into the bulgogi today. It's a pretty simple recipe. The history of bulgogi is interesting. Korean people like to claim that it goes back about 2,000 years. So, but they claim it comes from some grilled meat skewers, which not very similar to bulgogi because bulgogi is not, in fact, grilled on skewers anymore.
Bulgogi, it's fire meat.
It means fire meat, yes. Bul means fire, gogi means meat. But they claim it comes from a dish called Miyeok, which comes from up to 2,000 years ago. The more recent iteration of bulgogi is called no biani, which was eaten into the 20th century by rich people in Korea, and is much more similar in that it is beef that is marinated with some sort of soy sauce, sugar, possibly fruit juice blend. However, the bulgogi as we know it is a relatively recent 20th century invention. So there you go, brief history of fire meat. Before we start, though, before we do anything with the bulgogi,
We want to thank Golvan for his subscription to
oh,
Prime.
that's right. We want to thank Golvan. Golvan?
Golvan.
Thank you, Golvan. I don't recognize that name. You must be new here.
Yeah, it's his first sub. It's his first sub.
Very good. Thank you. So we are going to, before we start anything else, freeze the meat slightly. And the reason why we're going to freeze the ribeye slightly is because we need to make it so that it is easier to cut into very thin pieces. So we're going to wrap it in some saran wrap because we don't want it oxidizing more. But it's refrigerated right now. We probably need to freeze this for 30 to 45 minutes. Kind of just depends on how fast, how cold your meat is, how big your meat is. We got big meat here on Continue Cooking. So there's this. We're just going to chuck it into the freezer, and we will come back to that in half an hour.
Time for another piece of meat.
Yeah, we'll just make a lot of bulgogi. You can obviously scale this recipe if you do not want as much bulgogi, but
you know, the beauty of this is that you can just make a whole lot of it at once and then freeze it.
yes,
And then eat it over time.
true.
So.
You don't have to cook it all at once. You could, in fact, marinate it and freeze it.
Oh, well, Gulvan, thank you. He said gull like seagull and a van like the thing you drive.
Yep.
And he just gifted a bunch of tier 1 subs.
Thank you, Golvan.
Thank you. 5 subs. Woohoo! Much appreciated. Yes, and it's me, Susie Kim. Someone's like, is that Susie?
Yes, it's
In
me.
case you guys didn't know, Monty and I are married. That's why I'm here in the kitchen with him. I'm also his producer.
She does a great job.
No, I'm really awful at this, actually. But just...
But she's the only producer I got.
But you're stuck with me, baby.
She's the freest producer I have.
Or the most expensive. I don't know how you want to hash that one.
Well, this part's free. I'm going to pay for the rest of it no matter what. So.
Are there going to be VODs? Yes.
Yes. So here's the deal, guys. There are not only going to be VODs, there's going to be, basically, this stream is going out live right now on my Twitch channel. It'll stay on my Twitch channel. It is on my GG MonteCristo YouTube channel right now, but I'm going to be moving that over to the Continue Cooking YouTube channel. That's the new one. It's youtube.com/@continuecooking. From there, on the Continue Cooking channel, there will be the live VODs, and we are going to edit all of these recipes down into individual YouTube videos, and we will edit them further down into TikTok, Instagram, Reels, YouTube Shorts, etc. So it's all, the big funnel is starting now for Continue Cooking, which is what we're calling this, and it's going to just keep going crazy. So if you look at TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, it's all at Continue Cooking, one word, Continue Cooking, and sign up for the YouTube channel if you prefer that. Otherwise, it'll just be here on Twitch.
Are you on every social media?
Every one that matters.
Blue Sky?
I did sign up for Blue Sky.
Truth Social?
I did not do Truth Social.
Okay, well, good.
I'm not an all caps typer, you know, so
Got it.
Truth Social is not for me.
Got it. Yeah, there's, I guess, some new people who haven't come here in a while.
Nobody's come here in a while because I haven't been streaming.
Well, I mean, to see you in a while. Someone said you look just the same as you did at Season 3 Worlds as now.
No, I've gained like 25 pounds, but that's fine.
We both have. But you did it better. Hey, I had 2 kids during that time.
I'm not
right?
saying anything.
Leave me alone.
Anything I'm going to say is going to get me in trouble, so. All right.
You should install a DOA screen in the kitchen and have him sit there FaceTiming you while you cook.
All right.
What are we looking for?
The sauce of the fish.
Of the canary? All right, here we go. 3,
All right, I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do with this Miyeok guk.
What is that hanging thing? Yeah, that's actually for the what's it called? Cam 4. Ready? Ta-da! It's stove cam. Wicked SL.
Guys, we have this setup is by far the most advanced cooking setup on Twitch, and it's not even close. The level of tech that I had to figure out to make this work. We had an OGN producer come over here, former OGN producer, to help with all of the tech setup. So last year when we were kind of in the alpha mode of the cooking stream, we were actively like trying out different cameras, working on the setup, figuring out what we needed. And now everything is incredibly advanced. We switched out a bunch of the cameras, which is why we had some tech issues at the start here. Because we made some changes, but otherwise, I mean, this should be like 1080p, 60 frames per second, glory. We switched a bunch of the cameras to iPhones, so we're now using one Sony Alpha 7 mirrorless camera, which is this one that you're looking at right now, and then everything else is iPhones, because apparently iPhones are just like really good at color balance and this kind of video. So if you just set them up with the Blackmagic app, and then we use the Blackmagic Atem Mini Pro ISO, which records all of the camera feeds simultaneously. I mean, the tech is crazy. So subscribe, because this shit is awesome.
Well, the comment was that maybe camera 1, someone would like to see the counter on camera 1, but then it just becomes torso, and then I don't know. We'll figure it out, guys. We'll thank you for your feedback.
Thank you for your feedback.
I'll figure that out. And Nicole, cool. I'm so glad
Welcome
you still
back,
have
Nicole.
I'm so glad you still have your faker hat.
She remembers after all these years.
The illegal faker hat.
It's so illegal. All right, so I'm going to show you the Miyeok because we're actually going to start cooking the Miyeok first, because the thing about when we're timing out all this cooking is the Miyeok is going to probably take 30 minutes just to boil and simmer. So what we want to do is start that now, and by the time the Miyeok is approaching completion, we will in fact be ready to marinate the bulgogi. And bulgogi, because it's so thinly sliced, does not need to be marinated very long. So we'll marinate it and basically immediately put it into the grill pan and cook it up, and then hopefully everything is ready. The intention is always that everything is ready at approximately the same time. So as we show off the ingredients here, we get all the ingredients back out onto the cooking board so you guys can see it.
Here's a different angle of the cooking board, guys.
Whoa. Do we like this angle?
I think that's probably better.
Now you get the crotch shot. Not sure how much
Nice.
you like that.
I don't know if I like that. Here, we'll give you the overhead. I think this is a better shot.
For now. So basically, when we're making the Miyeok, you're going to want some kind of stew beef. This is chuck eye roll, but I mean, you can use any kind of chuck. Usually at an Asian market or any kind of grocery store, you just get stew beef. We're going to cut this much smaller. You want about 225 grams of this. We're going to make a lot of Miyeok. We're going to make 10 cups of water of Miyeok because we can freeze it and our kids eat it. You do not have to make this much Miyeok. You may want to make half this much Miyeok.
You probably want less than half.
Yeah.
This is a lot. I don't even know if our kids can eat all this.
We'll freeze it. Anyway, I've got 2 cloves of garlic right here. The garlic is going to go in raw and be boiled, so you don't need a lot to get that garlic flavor. This is Miyeok, which is, in Korean, it's the seaweed. In Japanese, if you are going to a store that maybe has Japanese ingredients, the same thing is going to be called wakame. So wakame, which you might use in miso soup, is going to be the same stuff. This is already pre-sliced, so it's a little bit smaller. This doesn't look like a lot. It says 50 grams here. It's going to expand significantly. So there's the Miyeok. We're going to use, it's very simple soup. We're going to use, this is soy sauce. It says kanjang in Korean. This is Korean fish sauce, sandlance sauce. You do not have to use, you could use any fish sauce. It doesn't matter. So Vietnamese, Thai, whatever you want. You could use, I've got some Thai fish sauce up here. This is squid brand fish sauce. This is Thai fish sauce. Whatever you want. Three crabs, red boat, whatever.
Just random words.
Those
Yellowtail.
those are fish sauce brands.
Yellowtail?
So, no, Yellowtail is a wine. And we're going to use some black pepper, and we will use a very, very small amount of salt because the kosher salt, because obviously the fish sauce and the soy sauce are already quite salty. But you will kind of be salting this to taste. We are going to do a very quick marinade of the meat with the soy sauce. But first, we are going to cut this up into more approachable portions. So as you can see, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this into kind of like bite-sized, very small bite-sized pieces. How large do you like your meat chunks in your Miyeok, Susie? Like this?
I mean, that's good. The kids don't need it smaller, but that's because one of them doesn't really have teeth.
It's really just however you guys prefer it, and that's something that you will learn about your Miyeok. But we're gonna brown it first just to get a little bit of color.
Worcester sauce a decent substitute?
For what?
For fish sauce? No.
No. It is delicious. We'll be using some Worcester sauce on our next stream, which is when we make Japanese curry with tonkatsu cutlet. We'll make some katsu curry.
Well, Nicole, we have planned out this month, but we haven't planned out May yet. So she said she would love to learn how to make kimchi jjigae.
Okay. We can do some more Korean food next month. We started with some Korean food today, but we're going to be doing a bunch of Japanese food for the next couple weeks.
I cook kimchi jjigae like an old Korean lady, where I don't have a recipe and I just throw things in a pot. But it always ends up good, doesn't it?
Yeah. Always, most of the time.
Always, most of the time. What are you talking about? Because kimchi jjigae is one of those things you could just make with whatever you have in the fridge.
No, you can't, because we don't have kimchi in the fridge.
So why didn't you get some from my dad when we were over there? We were talking about it. Don't put this on me. You were there too.
We live in Korea and we never have kimchi in the fridge. We have tons of Korean. We also eat lots of Korean food, obviously, but never kimchi.
We have other kinds of kimchi.
That's true. So why are you guys spending your Easter Sunday watching this? I'm just happy it's working correctly. I'm just trimming some of the fat off of this because the chuck eye roll has some fat on it, which we don't need. This is actually probably closer to 300 grams of beef as well. I like mine a little bit beefier. So the meat ratio is something that you can kind of decide for yourself. But in this amount, 8 ounces is a pretty good baseline. You could do this with brisket too. So a lot of Korean soups like seolleongtang are made with brisket. Brisket's pretty expensive in Korea for whatever reason. I mean, beef in general is pretty expensive in Korea. I'm trying to cut perpendicular to the grain of the meat right now, just so it's a little bit more tender. But we're going to boil it. It's going to be small enough chunks that it probably doesn't matter very much.
Funky Pharaoh, I can't really change camera one right now because it actually doesn't have a zoom or anything like that. I would have to physically move the whole thing. So we will keep that in consideration for the next time we set up.
Another person who wants to see the cutting board?
He wants to see the cutting board.
Well, you don't like this shot? It's beautiful.
Here, move the plate. Let me show them.
You don't like my blood bowl?
I'll show them too. There. You can watch him cut from this angle instead.
Whoa. We actually do have picture-in-picture technology too. But Susie doesn't know how to use that yet.
I don't. Also, like, how do I play with this? Do I... Ho ho!
Just, I gave her fancy transitions, guys. God help us. Ooh, the fade to white.
Whoa. Is that what I just did? Oh my gosh, this is hard.
Just wait till she finds the white button.
Like this one?
Whoa! Okay. Might be a little more meat than is traditional or you want, but
A meaty Miyeok is also very nice.
I love a meaty Miyeok.
Because you also get that nice beef flavor along
Yes.
with
Yeah, because the
seaweed.
fat will also dissolve into the soup, so it makes it a bit richer.
Ooh, what's this one?
Okay, so what I'm going to do...
Sorry, I'm having way too much fun with this. Okay.
I'm just going to put a tablespoon of soy sauce in here. This is all we should need to marinate this for just a moment while we get everything set up. And I'm going to use a quarter of a teaspoon of kosher salt in here as well. There we go. The meat will be salty, but that's fine because it's all going to be dissolved in what is effectively water.
Yeah, it'll be in a soup. It'll be delicious. It's a day after Easter Sunday, public holiday in Australia, so that's good.
There you go, Australians on the same timeline as us. So I'm just going to stir up the beef with the soy sauce. We're just going to give that a minute. I am now going to hydrate the Miyeok. And I'm going to do it with a kitchen scale. So what I said was for this amount of Miyeok, it's all right, you can get raw beef on use kitchen scale. Sanitary. So we have this Miyeok right here. For this amount of Miyeok, I'm going to try for, I said 40 grams. I'm going to do a little bit less. It's going to be a lot of Miyeok, guys. I'm going to try for 35. This package is 50. Okay, we got 38. So you can maybe see. 37. And the way this works is we're going to rehydrate this for just a moment by putting a bunch of water in it. And this is going to expand in volume very significantly.
I should show. Oh, I guess you did. You can see the before and after.
You will see the before and after. So here you go. Here's what it looks like before. And you can see it's very small. Each individual piece is, in fact, quite tiny. For a lot of foods, like miso soup, you may only need like a tablespoon of this. You may only need a tablespoon or so of this. It's going to rehydrate very quickly as well. So we probably need to leave this here for just a few minutes, which means in the meantime, we're going to brown the meat.
Browning meat.
So we do need some toasted sesame oil. So we are going to cook it in the toasted sesame oil, which will also add to the flavors of the final dish. I'm going to use a Dutch oven because we want something that has good heat retention and it's pretty heavy bottomed. So I'm going to turn this on to medium heat. Let me see if I can get a better angle on this for you guys. Sorry. There we go. There we go. Meantime, I'm just going to crack some pepper over the beef.
That beeping sound means that the rice is done.
Or will be done in 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes.
That's
the 10-minute warning.
That's the 10-minute warning.
Anime Fred Durst, welcome back.
Welcome back, Anime Fred Durst.
You're not late. We're kind of late.
It's still pretty early on.
It's pretty early. It's fine.
So I'm going to go ahead and use about a tablespoon of oil in here to fry up this meat. We may add more later. I'm going to get my first water ready. We're going to need about 2 liters / 10 cups of water, a little bit more than 2 liters. 2.25 liters. So this is 4 cups of water, about a liter right here. It's a little bit more than 4. A liter is a little bit more than 4 cups, but that's fine.
Can't really.
One. Camera one. So I was going to get this ready because I don't want to burn the meat later on, so I'm just going to pour it in there when we're done cooking the meat.
Whoa. Fred Durst, are you telling us we're crackling again? No. Is the audio crackle? It's your end. I'm going to say it's on your end.
Oh, we're just getting trolled
us.
now.
Better not be trolling us.
I don't believe you. I fixed the problem.
Yeah, everyone else says it's fine. Stop trolling us, Fred Durst.
It's kind of what Fred Durst does.
He does.
Okay, we're going to add the beef now.
Move the plate.
Hold on. Surely we can get a better angle on this. Oh, yeah.
I could already smell the toasted sesame oil.
Oh, yeah.
It's very...
We're just going to leave it there for just a second.
What's the word in English? It's 고소하다 in Korean, where it's like a nice, robust, roasted smell.
I see. So we're trying to just brown the outside of the beef pretty quickly here. We don't want to cook it all the way through. We just want to get some Maillard reaction so we get some additional flavor onto it. So we're just going to leave it there for just a moment. Then we're going to start stirring it around. And we're going to brown it on the outside. It really will probably only take a minute or 2.
Yeah, maybe savory or umami would be the best word. It's just like this rich aroma of beef and sesame oil. 고소하다. Now you guys have learned Korean.
So that's probably about all we need here. I'm going to start pouring in the water now. So there is 4 cups or 1 liter. Here's another 4 cups or 1 liter. And here's another 2 cups, or about 500 mils. Then we are going to add the Miyeok. So let's take a look at the Miyeok again, see where we're at. And as you can see, we now have a bowl full of seaweed, and each individual one of those pieces has now expanded quite significantly. This is the cut Miyeok. So it's already been cut. You're probably going to want to cut it more with scissors later on, but we now have a bowl full of this, which is great. We're going to squeeze it out a little bit as we put it in there, just because we don't want to add additional water. Camera.
4.
So here I'm going to squeeze out the water so you can see it's somewhat drier at this point in time. And we're just going to get it all in here.
Oh, we're making so much of it. If you guys are nearby, you know, you can come by and have some lunch.
We will freeze it. This is great food for kids, by the way. And it's a great side dish with basically any Korean food. So,
Miyeok is something that in Korean culture we eat on birthdays. So anytime it's your birthday, you eat the Miyeok. And so I also found out, I guess, okay, I'm bad at telling stories. So you also, when you have a baby, so if you have given birth at any ajumma or like any like postnatal care place, will always feed you Miyeok for like months, because they feel that the seaweed will help replenish the nutrients that you have lost during childbirth. And so, oh my gosh, I ate copious amounts of Miyeok. I ate so much Miyeok after I gave birth to Orion when I was here in Korea. And the reason you eat Miyeok on your birthday is to basically celebrate your mom who has given birth to you, and kind of like an homage to her, where you eat this Miyeok and you're like, you know, this is the stuff that replenished my mother's health because she gave birth to me. And you say basically thank you to your parents for giving you life, or give to your mom for giving you life.
It's very healthy too.
Yeah. So the reason why we also decided to do Miyeok this week, well, last week, was because my birthday was on Tuesday last week. And so we were like, oh, this is great. We can, you know, match it up with your birthday. And here we are a week later.
Whoops. Good explanation of Miyeok. But it is also served as a side soup with a variety of different dishes. Camera. Talking to you.
Oh, sorry.
She gets distracted.
I do get distracted. I was reading chat.
All right, so we have 2 cloves of garlic here, so I'm going to slice them thinly, and then I'm going to mince them, and we're going to put them into the soup.
Well, Andrew, I think you didn't like it because maybe they just didn't make it right. You'll love it here. You'll love Monty's Miyeok. But it is true. After eating so much Miyeok,
yeah,
I'm not the biggest fan
it is
anymore.
great for kids. Kids enjoy it. You just put a bunch of rice directly into the soup, and it's basically a 1 bowl meal for kids. Or we'll eat it as a side dish, like I said, with our bulgogi, and it will be delicious. So regardless of what Korean food you're eating, Koreans love having bowls of, like, small bowls of soup or stew as side dishes. So that's what we're going to use it for, is the 2 minced cloves of garlic. I'm going to go right over here into this. And then we are going to add the 2, right now, teaspoons of fish sauce. Now we will probably need more salt in this, but for now, we're just going to cook it like this. So again, this is the Sand Lance sauce. Let me get this for you. There you go. Which is called ganari. There you go. In Korean, but any fish sauce will do.
So ganari, so every fish sauce kind of tastes slightly different.
Yeah.
And we have fish sauce, but I like the ganari when we're making the miyeok. I feel like it gives it a different flavor. Fish flavor. I don't know. It's umami. Hush.
It's the umami flavor, yes, for sure. So what we need this to do right now is to boil. So I'm going to turn up the heat a little bit now that everything's in there. It is a large pot, and once it boils, we will cover it so it doesn't lose as much water to evaporation, and it stays soupy.
I mean, you could always add more water if it starts to get...
Yeah, but I'm just going to cover it, so...
Or that. Okay. I'm going to 1.
I'm just going to cover it.
It's right there next to you.
I'm not going to cover it yet till it boils. I need to see it boil, and I will lower the temperature. I'm going to wash my cutting board real quick because I just had raw meat all over it.
Can we get sync cam?
Sync cam requires significantly more money because we would need a new switcher to have an additional camera. Because we would need a 5 switcher. And the next step up is actually an 8 channel. So we could have up to 8 cameras.
Take camera 2 with you.
Huh?
Take camera 2 with you.
Not right now. It's not going to take me very long. A quick soak down. You can look at my butt.
Dishwashing ASMR. So how have you guys been while we wait for Monty to wash dishes and things and things? Oh, hello, Sting. Welcome, welcome. Guys, I don't know if you've noticed, but remember how you always asked about that big white tower that was sitting next to the sink? It is gone now. That was a baby formula dispenser, and Orion has finally weaned off of it. This is momentous for me. We are done. Out of baby stage.
Forever.
God, I hate baby stage.
No, you don't. You love baby
It's
stage.
so cute. It's cute, but I hate all the things that come with it.
It's tedious. So I'm going to lower... I'm actually going to move this onto a different burner. That's what I'm going to do.
Yes, guys, we are not feeding our baby anymore.
Yep.
He's got to fend for himself.
Get a job, baby.
Seriously, you can walk now. Go get a job. Are y'all coming back to the U.S. anytime soon? If you were us, would you go back to the U.S. anytime soon?
I think we're pretty good here for the time being. So I'm just going to move this over to a different burner and simmer it. Ta-da.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave this over here because it's going to be simmering while we cook bulgogi, basically.
Yeah. So Owen Murphy, we have answered your own question. The answer
We'll
is
come back eventually.
eventually.
I'm going to cover that, turn it down to low, and we'll check on it in a little bit. All right, are we ready to go with bulgogi yet? I think we are. Let's check and see how hard our ribeye is.
Oh, how hard's your meat?
How hard's my meat?
I mean, our Farley dude, honestly, if we could give it to 2028, I'm happy with that because I love living here. Quality of life here has been great.
Yep. Might want to give it a couple more minutes.
Political nonsense in Korea is like nothing compared to
Well, it's not nothing. I wouldn't call
compared to political nonsense in the States.
declaring martial law a pretty big deal.
Yeah, but it was done in 6 hours. It was like, oh, never mind. Efficiently and quickly was taken care of.
So we are going to boil the Miyeok covered for a little bit. I'm still waiting for the ribeye to become slightly more frozen. The thing is, when we get the ribeye out and we slice it, even if it is a little bit frozen, it's going to thaw really quickly because of how thinly we are slicing it and the fact that we're going to put a marinade together for it. So while we wait, though, we can actually just go ahead and make the bulgogi marinade, which we have to blend up anyway and put into a bowl. So we'll start that process. What is going to go into our bulgogi marinade is, again, if you have a medium onion, I would use half. I have a very small yellow onion here, so I'm going to use the whole thing.
Yes, and I understand that Miyeok is essentially beef and a seaweed soup. Yes.
Yes.
Miyeok means seaweed. Kuk means soup. So Miyeok is seaweed soup, and then we usually use beef to hearty it up, I suppose.
You sound like a pirate.
Hearty it up. Yar.
Into me hearty, the soup.
Me hearty. Yes, the meat is not hard enough. We want the meat harder.
Got to give some Viagra to that meat.
We're all out of Viagra, I suppose. Meat Viagra.
We never had any, Susie. Come on.
Oh, God, Nicole, you're playing League again? Why? Here's a fun fact, guys. I've actually never played League.
You have. That's such a lie.
Okay. Playing League till I was like level 10 is not really playing League, is it?
I don't know if you've ever played a ranked game.
I've never played a ranked game. I've played maybe like a handful of ARAMs ever in my life. And that was only because my brother made me. I've been cooking on and off a few years now. I want to try cooking Korean food. Korean food is
easy.
Really easy. It's just a lot of prep, but cooking it is very easy.
It's not even a lot of prep. There's way more prep that's involved in like Chinese cooking, let's say.
Sure.
The reason why Korean is easy is because of this. So all of the hard parts of Korean cooking, this is gochujang, this is fermented chili paste, and this is doenjang, which is fermented soybean paste, kind of like miso. The reason why Korean cooking is super easy is because ingredients like this already exist, and these things have to be fermented for months and months and months, and that is the difficult part. Once you have these ingredients and they're already made, it makes actually preparing the food day of a lot easier. And because we live in the modern times where all of that stuff is available for you at the grocery store, and very, very few people make their own gochujang or doenjang, most of the recipes are going to be quite simple to put together, right? Also, bulgogi is even easier because bulgogi needs neither of those ingredients. The reason why I have those out is because we're going to make a dipping sauce called samjang for the bulgogi to make it even more delicious.
Why don't you open it up and show them what it looks like?
You can buy this. You can buy this online, guys.
Yeah.
It lasts forever. You can open it and put it inside your refrigerator, and because it's a fermented ingredient, it will last you forever.
Yeah.
You can leave this in your refrigerator for a year, and it's going to be fine.
Yeah.
It's like miso in that way. Just lasts forever. This is doenjang. This is the one that's like miso. There's a piece of wax paper in there that's supposed to keep the top fresh. I'm just going to take it out. This is the good doenjang. The less commercial one. This one smells amazing.
So there's a lot of different types. Obviously, there's going to be lots of different types of doenjang. There's different brands of doenjang and gochujang. some families home make these things and then keep it in jars that are buried in the ground forever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
But yes, it is delicious.
So anyway, Korean cooking mostly, a lot of traditional Korean cooking is doing things like making the kimchi and making the gochujang and making the doenjang. And these would be, times, even today, the kimchi making time is when families get together and you make an epic amount of kimchi and divide it all amongst each other to make it easier. But it does require, a certain amount of fermentation, a certain amount of aging. And that means that what we have here, we've cut out significant numbers of the steps. In fact, obviously, you can get very good kimchi that's handmade here in Korea. You can buy kimchi at the grocery store. These are all options that you have. And so a lot of the, I would say, more laborious aspects of traditional Korean cooking have now been basically eliminated.
I mean, you're asking where you can buy it. You can, sure, Asian supermarkets, but also it's so
Amazon?
Yeah, it's so easy to get
it's
now.
Everywhere.
Like, if this was 1990, I would tell you yes, only an Asian market. But here we are in 25. Amazon, I think Walmart even carries it.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
So, these days, it's everywhere, guys. Look, I don't know what you guys use for mail order stuff if you're in Europe, but Amazon will have doenjang and gochujang that you can just order and next day deliver to yourself.
I'm sure they have Amazon. We can order American Amazon to Korea.
Yeah.
And have things delivered here. So
UK has Amazon. So.
Does the CJ brand gochujang also disappoint you in the end?
Look, it's not going to be the best.
Yeah, I mean, sure, but
honestly, for most applications, the CJ or generic brand gochujang, I mean, this is the CJ brand gochujang. It's fine for most stuff.
Yeah.
I have the fancier doenjang because doenjang actually is is most of the base. So mostly samjang is doenjang, and I also use this for marinade. So I wanted a nicer doenjang, but honestly, for most things, it doesn't really matter because you're going to be mixing it with so many other ingredients. I doubt you could tell the difference. Maybe you can, but. So I'm just preparing the marinade now. You do not need to mince the onion as finely as I have minced it here. So this is a pretty fine mince. I'm going to be blending this into a puree. So I was just kind of robotically cutting the onion. I'm going to use the 6 cloves of garlic now.
Just chop, chop, chop. Sure, Walmart kimchi is probably not going to be the best, but
Whatever.
If you have a Korean friend near you, you can kind of ask them where their parents get their kimchi, and you may be able to get a better source.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We would buy kimchi from Korean grocery stores in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and they were okay.
It was fine.
It was fine. It's not the best. We're thinking about trying to get my mom on the stream so we can make kimchi with her.
Yes, we will do that. The Korean mother-in-law react content to my Korean cooking will also be coming. Your mother's very expressive, so it'll be fun.
And she's also an open book. So
yeah, she's also very mean. She's also very mean, so it'll be good.
So if she hates it, you'll know right away.
She's not mean. She's just, she's harsh but fair. All right, so as we continue to work here, I put 6 cloves of garlic in here. As you guys can see with the onions. All of this is going to be going into a blender. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons of honey.
I mean, my mom was the honey, have you gained weight? You look terrible. I'm like, oh, thanks, Mom.
So we are going to use 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. There's a lot of sugar in this. The sugar does help break down the meat a little bit. Not that It's mostly for caramelization on the surface.
Is your mother-in-law foreign? No, Thorin is actually a lot nicer than my mom.
Honey is kind of crystallized. I might need to microwave this for a very few number of seconds. Come on. Oh boy, this might take a minute. So how do you guys like the new setup, if you were here before, for the alpha version? How is the beta version suiting you? As I struggle with some very viscous honey.
This is like a episode of SpongeBob. 12 hours later. Setup is premium. It's dope.
Will you be coming back for Japanese curry later this week?
You better. Not enough vine booms? I don't even know what that means. Not a fan. What does that mean? Am I boomer? Am I just like... I don't know
No, he's talking about camera booms, I'm pretty sure.
Vine booms?
I don't know
it's a lot smoother, though I think you might have a few audio tweaks. Oh, so you weren't here for this, Anime Fred Durst, but we figured out that it was an HDMI cable that was...
It was an HDMI cable.
That gave us all the problems. Susie's old and washed, confirmed. Absolutely.
We're all old and washed.
Oh, it's a sound effect used in a lot of vines.
Oh.
God, am I just like even too old
No,
to
no,
know vines?
no, Vine.
No, I remember. I just never watched them.
Yeah.
God. I think I'm even more boomer than Vine booms. So this is bad.
We're gonna use some fresh ginger, so I'm just gonna go ahead and peel it here with a spoon. Look at that ginger. Easiest way to peel ginger, just go ahead and use a spoon to get the skin off. Makes it quite easy. We want about a tablespoon of this.
Some cut off static sounds, but it's not bad. It occurs once in a while.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
I'll listen for it. It might be the noise gate. I gated this so you guys would have less of a room hum when nobody was talking.
can you share the recipe with us?
It is pinned in the Twitch chat.
This is YouTube. Haha. We got you. I don't think it's here.
It is pinned on my Twitter.
Okay. Yeah, go to Monty's Twitter, and it should be there.
There is a pinned schedule on the top of my Twitter, and in a reply that I made to that, there is a Google Doc with everything you are looking for.
Oh, Najawin, thank you so much for putting that into the YouTube stream.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See? People are very helpful.
Helpful. And Satingu, why does it feel kind of weird to see a bottle of roasted sesame seed lying around in an English cooking stream? Because we're in Korea.
Also, I make Asian food, so.
Monty's actually secretly Korean, honestly. The amount of times we've heard friends be like, oh, can he eat spicy food?
Sad. All right. So I'm just going to get rid of these ginger skins and put them into my food waste, because all food waste gets recycled in Korea. So this is just a thumb of ginger. It's about 2 teaspoons, guys. Whatever.
A thumb of ginger.
I'm just going to cut it up a little bit because we're going to blend this. We don't need to mince it or microplane it. It's all going to be pureed heavily into oblivion, basically.
Yeah, you say ew ginger, but when it's like
No,
mixed
you
with
don't
all the
mean that.
marinade,
You do not mean that.
Yeah, it's different.
Okay, so we got 1 tablespoon of honey in there. I needed to decrystallize it, so I heated this up, and look at that. It actually comes out now. Wow. Okay.
Delicious. When I order spicy, I have to say actually spicy, not white people spicy.
Yeah, it's so funny because people are like, "Oh, can you eat this? It's spicy."
I'm always just like, he eats
Also,
spicy better than I do.
Yeah,
Like,
it's also the thing is that not being able to eat spicy food, it's really just a European flaw. Most Americans, remember, chili peppers are native to America. These Korean people think, oh, well, we got our chili peppers from Portuguese traders in the 1600s. Now we eat spicy food. You guys didn't even have spicy food. You didn't have it. Came from America. So most Americans eat Mexican food or something like that. They usually have some spice tolerance. It's you pathetic Northern Europeans.
it's also Midwestern Americans. Come on.
Yeah.
And the people on the coasts are familiar, and then
Or
on
in
the
the
bottom,
southern
in the
United-
southern area,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's closer to.
Well, also Southern cuisine in general, like New Orleans cuisine, can have a lot of heat to it.
No, it's the middle America just cannot handle spice. It's weird.
All right, so I'm going to add the sesame oil now. So we need a 1/4 cup. We need quite a bit of soy sauce in our marinade here. I'm going to add, a 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. So I'm just going to not use a 1/4 cup, and I'm just going to add 4 tablespoons because that's the conversion.
Sting says, for the Korean subtitles, I may have to exclude what you just said right now to stay away from trouble.
Oh, no. We steer into trouble, my friend. The Koreans will understand.
No, let us not start our first video with a controversial.
Don't worry. I'm going to do some heinous things to bulgogi that Korean people will not enjoy. So
진짜 못 살아, 이 사람이랑. 아유.
I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of sesame oil. My green onions.
Nemesis said he cannot eat anything remotely spicy.
Pathetic European.
What have I gotten myself into? You volunteered for this? Did you sign up for this, sir?
Okay, so what we're going to do now.
Ta-da!
We're going to dump all of this. Let me get my spatula. Go ahead and dump all of this straight into here. So this is the garlic, the onion, ginger, honey, brown sugar, sesame oil, soy sauce, and black pepper.
Neptune Dweller says, I ate an entire habanero at 8 years old thinking it was a small sweet pepper. Ran around in circles for 10 minutes in agony and forever loved spicy food after.
That's right. You just got to get your spice tolerance up. After a while, you just don't even taste it anymore. That's what Susie says when I cook. She's like, please don't make it spicy. And I say, I can't taste it, so I have no idea if it's spicy or not. Just tastes good. Okay, here we go. Oh, man, we can blend cam.
Oh snap.
We have the technology now, guys.
Can you?
Oh, yes.
All right.
I'm going to pulse it just for a second. Then we're going to use Max Blend.
That's loud.
I don't think the noise is overwhelming on the mics. Maybe it is. Maybe it's terrible. Whoa!
Okay, you guys can still. That thing is so loud. That actually makes Orion cry.
When we've used the blender before on the stream, people have said it wasn't loud, but you guys tell us if it was loud.
I think that it's okay. Can you hold the camera steady though? Really? Come on.
Oh, don't worry, we have a gimbal now, so you'll see the gimbal shots in a bit.
Woo!
Okay, so I want to talk about why we're not using fruit juices as I walk away.
I never enjoyed watching a blender this much.
You're more of a grinder fan, aren't you? All right, so this is an Asian pear. Now, a lot of bulgogi recipes will use Asian pear. There's nothing wrong with using Asian pear. Do not use the velveting technique that I'm going to show you if you are using fruit juice. Some bulgogi recipes use kiwi juice. Some bulgogi recipes use pineapple juice. So pears, these Asian pears, or a Bosc pear, which you might use if you don't have access to Asian pears, they're going to add sweetness, so you would want to add less sugar and honey than I did. But they're also going to have an enzyme called calpain in them. And calpain is the part of the marinade that is going to snip the protein and make it soft. The thing about it, though, and by the way, if you use pineapple juice in particular, it is going to be even harsher. And so you really can't leave it in there for very long. You'll see some recipes will say things like take a few tablespoons of pineapple juice out of canned pineapple. It's going to make the surface texture of the bulgogi very mushy. And the thing about bulgogi is because we're slicing it so thinly is that it is all surface area, right? In a recipe where we had a larger or a thicker cut of meat going into the marinade, it wouldn't matter so much, but you really don't want mushy bulgogi. So what I'm going to use is a Chinese cooking technique, and I'm going to omit the pear entirely. Because the purpose of the pear, again, is to add sugar. You're really not going to taste the pear flavor because of the ginger, garlic, soy sauce, everything else that is already in the marinade. And instead of using it to tenderize the meat, which might make it a little bit mushy, I'm going to velvet the meat with baking soda, which will not make it mushy, but will make it tender. So this is the part of the bulgogi recipe that I am showing you that is going to be different. I have done a lot of research on this various bulgogi recipes and landed on this one. First off, because velveting is an excellent technique that should be used more often anyway, but also because America's Test Kitchen ran a number of experiments on bulgogi and came up with velveting as the best way to create the best bulgogi texture. Again, this is probably heretical to Koreans who want to use pae, which is the Asian pear. Okay? You can use it. It will make worse bulgogi. I'm sorry to tell your Korean grandmother this. Do not use this.
I mean, to be fair, my mom's old. So my mom has this notebook of Korean recipes that she made from a class in the 70s. And they were like, use 10 cups of sugar.
Yeah,
like,
I was appalling.
So
I was like,
bad.
oh my God.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've come a long way. Obviously, like, using pae or pineapple juice is going to be healthier than using cups of white sugar.
Sure. We're not even using white sugar.
Yeah. But, just saying. But now we know more.
And knowing is half the battle. And now we have advanced science in our cooking techniques, and we understand the glory of velveting. So speaking of the glory of velveting, our meat is sufficiently chilled now.
Is your meat hard enough now?
It is. It's like, it's what it's going to feel like is it'll feel like a little bit, it'll obviously be cold, but a little bit hard to the touch, which is what we want because we are trying to slice this as thinly as we possibly can. And it is, you can try and do it while it's not cold, but I promise you it's going to be much easier if it is slightly chilled. And I don't have a meat slicer or anything like that, so what I'm going to be doing, obviously this is a larger piece of meat, but I'm going to be trying to do this slightly, very thin. It doesn't have to be even. If it's, by even I mean the slice length. It's not particularly important. I will show in just a moment. So I don't know if you can hear that, but we're getting pretty thin slices now, which look like this, right? Again, this is pretty much all surface area. This is a really, as you can see, well marbled ribeye right here. This is an expensive cut of meat, particularly in Korea, where beef is very expensive.
Most of our beef either come from the U.S. or Australia.
Yeah, this is American beef right here. There is Korean Hanu beef, which is like the highest of the high quality. It is very expensive. But even the ribeyes and stuff here, if you're American, you might be used to. I actually don't know what American ribeye prices are these days because obviously prices have gone up. I'm used to ribeye costing between $15 and $20 a pound. Ribeye in Korea right now is probably costing about $30 a pound. So it's quite expensive. I mean, bulgogi is not a cheap recipe. It requires, I mean, it doesn't require, you can use less premium cuts of meat. You could use, in America, brisket would be a less premium cut of meat. In Korea,
Is that a 26% tariff meat?
not
is this
yet.
tariff meat, sir? Soon. This is going to be even more expensive, isn't it?
Well, no, not if Korea doesn't charge tariffs.
True. Don't Americans
It might actually be a less expensive cut of meat soon if Korea responds by lowering tariffs. I don't know if the beef is tariffed or not.
It's about 16-ish or something right now. It's more
16. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense. This ribeye would probably be a little bit more expensive because it's pretty high quality. I mean, you can see like
the marbling.
this is a pretty good ribeye here. Has some ginger on it. My head. So this is what we're getting now. Just thin slices in this bowl. They're gonna come apart a little bit. That's okay. I mean, they're gonna come apart while we're grilling the meat as well. Now, here's the thing about bulgogi, guys. Really should be grilled on charcoal. If you have the option to grill it on charcoal, the flavor is just it's just gonna be better.
I mean, Sting makes a good point. The thing about bulgogi is that Koreans don't use high quality meat for this because you just really want to eat the sauce. So the sauce needs to be good.
It depends. I mean, you can
Sure, you
usually
can.
usually you should use ribeye or sirloin. So sirloin in Korean is dongshim, and ribeye is kot dongshim, which is flour dongshim. Dongshim is sirloin, so they call it flour sirloin.
Kotumshim, yeah. But yeah, for the most part, bulgogi is going to be the cheapest cut of meat. Usually, yeah, it is. That's why bulgogi is always so cheap.
You can use chuck, but if you really want the good bulgogi, it's going to look like this. This is the way that it is made in basically every recipe, is with a higher quality cut of meat.
Oh my God, in Norway, the beef tax is close to, what, 344%? So we basically eat only Norwegian beef.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Also costs $20 for a pint of beer there. How do you guys eat?
Fish.
Fish only.
Fish only.
So I'm just trimming some of the fat off here now that it's a little bit chilled because we don't need to eat that. Yeah, some of these bits are very fatty at the end here.
Fatty bits.
Like I said, we are going to make quite a bit of this. So as I was saying, the way you really want to grill this is over charcoal, and that's where Korean restaurants, or you, if you have a charcoal grill, have a lot of advantages. It is going to make it taste significantly better. There's not really a way around that for me at this point in time. I am going to cook it indoors on a grill pan. Some people like to cook it on non-stick pans. I'm going to cook it on cast iron. I think the heat retention will just be better, and it'll give it a nicer Maillard reaction. The reason why we use cast iron or the enameled cast iron that I have here in the Dutch oven is because it is very thick and heavy, and the way that it works in terms of physics is that when you introduce something cold, in this case the meat, to the pan, it is going to change the temperature of the pan, which means that it's not going to be as hot, so it's not going to give you as nice of a sear, okay? So the reason why we like to use cast iron for things like steaks or meats that we want to get a nice sear and brown Maillard reaction on is because when we introduce it, the pan will cool less if it's a very heavy cast iron pan, because it won't dissipate as much because of the laws of thermodynamics, okay? So we're going to get the pan very hot, and then we're going to very quickly cook this meat on it. And if we use, you can use a nonstick pan if that's easier for you, but the tier list of bulgogi cooking should be charcoal. And in fact, you'll find these clam shells that are basically, they're kind of like wire, squares of wire, and they close with handles on the side, and you can hold them over charcoal and flip them. And that's probably the best way to cook it. And then beyond that, on a grill over charcoal, and then probably on a grill pan like I'm going to do, and then maybe on a nonstick pan. I think you'll still be quite satisfied with your results no matter how you cook this, because the quality of the ingredients, if you're using ribeye or sirloin, it's going to be very good. But just be aware that this is a potential issue. I'm going to get my other steak out and continue my meat cutting.
Been missing seeing you more on LFN, so it's nice catching one of these cooking streams. Hope you're doing well. Please come back to SI, Monty.
I'm not watching a bunch of LOL again. Sorry, buddy. I wish I could do that show without watching 40, 50 hours of LOL a week.
That would be great.
It's not possible with what I need to do with the company right now and my other ambitions, like doing these cooking streams, for example. So I'm glad you're here and enjoying this, though. Come back. We'll be doing more. All right, this one is actually frozen just a little bit better, so I think I'll be able to get this a little bit thinner, which is nice. Yeah, we can get this one really thin. So it's you could, I don't know if you can hear the frozen sound of the meat, but it's nice.
Yeah, you gotta do all the Star Wars stuff too.
Yeah, and we just released our first episode of the Robert Eggers arc on Foreplay, which is very exciting. So The Witch is now out. How did you like watching The Witch with me, Susie?
Which one was that? Oh yeah.
The Puritan
That's
one.
good.
Yeah, as you can see, we got it a little bit thinner now. That's nice. The more frozen it is, the thinner you can slice it. The consistency is better on this one. This one took about an hour to freeze to this level. And I left it in there for a few more minutes while we were cutting up the other one. And this one's actually more perfect, I think, for the purposes of freezing.
We baking powdering these bad boys?
Oh, yes. We definitely are.
Cutting you, watching you cut.
Ooh, look at all that ribeye. Delicious. Delicious. Look at that.
Yum. I'm ready for lunch.
You ready?
I'm ready. Are you guys still in Korea? Yes, we are. It's actually been about a year and a half. I know someone was asking, and they said the last time you did the cooking stream they watched was in LA.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Years ago.
Well, welcome back.
Monty made me a believer. I got an air fryer.
Ha-ha!
Yes.
Now all you have to do is get an Instant Pot. You'll be fully Monty-pilled.
Oh, and a Ninja blender. I've been trying to watch a good movie almost every weekend lately.
Good for you.
Oh, there's a surprisingly good selection on YouTube, free with ads. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to take this out because this is just a giant piece of fat that we do not need to eat. The end of this ribeye is pretty fatty, so I'm not sure how much of this we'll be able to salvage, really. Like, you can see this right here. Just a lot of fat in here that I'm going to try and cut out. This part's fine, though. This looks good. So as you can see, like, this is not particularly usable. Okay.
I'm going to put on one.
Yep. All right. We are approaching completion of this part. The ends are always not going to be quite as good or thinly cut, but that's okay. We do what we can. So you had to walk away for a second. That's why you're not hearing her. But it's okay, because we're recording all 4 cameras. And we'll check on the Miyeok in a second. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. And my cutting board.
Path of Clarity says, hi, Monty and Susie. I'm visiting Korea for the first time next week. Is there anything you'd recommend?
Susie's the Korea tour guide.
Well, one, we don't live in Seoul anymore. And, like, two, I feel like I'm so out of touch with whatever is hip and good anymore. But for sure, do all the, I would say, do,
Gyeongbokgung.
yeah, Gyeongbokgung, like, head up that way. There's the palace, there's the King Sejong Hangul Museum, Cheonggyecheon is great, Namsan Tower is great. Just like the center of Seoul is where a lot of the history and culture is. You really like that museum. What was that? The one in Yongsan.
The Korean War Museum?
Yeah.
That one's excellent.
And X-Chip 102.
Welcome back.
Oh my God, you subscribed for 104 months?
Yes, he's one of the OG legendary subs.
You
Thank
are.
You. Welcome back.
You're up there with me. What was I at?
108.
I'm at 108. Whew.
Hopefully you're enjoying this. Chip. All right, guys. So, here we go. This is it.
What did you ask for at the butcher for that cut of meat?
Ribeye. It's a ribeye steak.
But you didn't ask the butcher. You just went to
I went to Costco and bought it. But it's just a ribeye steak. You could use sirloin, though. You could use skirt steak. You could use brisket. You could use tenderloin. What you want is a high-quality cut of beef if you're making it yourself at home.
Ooh, jerky minion.
Jerky's minion.
Jerky's minion. Thank you for your
Thank you.
30-month streak.
Welcome back, Jerky.
I hear this is where the white man makes Asian food stream.
This is true.
Teach me how to baking powder my meat. I've never done that.
I'm going to show you right now.
I see.
All right. So I've talked about the technique of velveting. Now, this is a Chinese technique that is utilized to tenderize beef. So a lot of Chinese stir fries in both traditional Chinese and especially American Chinese cuisine are going to have this technique applied to them. You do have to be careful to add just a very small amount of baking powder, because if you add a lot,
You'll chafe. Oh, sorry, we're talking about something else.
you'll chafe. Your food will taste like baking powder, or baking soda, excuse me. Those are actually two different things. Sodium bicarbonate, as we might call it, baking soda. So what this does is it's going to create a tenderized version of meat, and it's useful on typically meat that is cut very thinly or cut very small, like you would have bite-sized pieces of meat in a stir fry. Do not do this to a steak. It's not going to do anything to the steak, right? When we use a marinade for a larger piece of meat, a whole piece of meat, it is less impactful to the texture of the meat because the vast majority of that piece of meat, so imagine a chicken breast, we know scientifically that marinade does not penetrate very deeply into the surface of the meat. It stays basically right at the surface. So it will tenderize the outside, but it's not going to ruin the texture of the meat, because when you take a bite of that meat, most of that is not going to be affected by things that denature the proteins on the outside. However, when we are using very small pieces of meat or very thin pieces of meat, the marinade can have a pretty profound texture, impact on the texture, right? And the reason is because it doesn't penetrate very far into it, but it could make the surface quite mushy, right? And we don't want that. So Chinese cooks figured out a long time ago how to use baking soda, and obviously that's what we're going to do here. Instead of using harsher enzymes that, like the calpain in the Asian pear, because we're not going to marinate this for very long, and we want to create the best texture for the bulgogi. So of course, we're based, right? Based cooking with baking soda, a base. Do I dab now? Like this?
Yes.
Is dabbing still cool?
Oh my God. You are fully embracing the being a dad joking.
Based cooking with MonteCristo.
Oh, maybe that's what we should have called this.
All right, so we're going to use a very small amount of baking soda, which is a quarter of a teaspoon. Subscribe for base cooking.
You realize just that part is going to be clipped and
That's fine. So I'm going to use a quarter teaspoon of the baking soda and a tablespoon of water. I'm going to mix it together like this. We are going to then pour it on top of our meat. Again, you do not need a lot. You do not want to make your food taste like baking soda.
Hey Monty, were you able to watch the C9 fly game today?
No,
No.
I was asleep.
We don't watch those things.
How was it?
Thank God I just ate, otherwise it's had me rushing to the fridge.
By the way, the truth is nobody watched the C9 fly game today because nobody watches North American League of Legends anymore. I was actually looking at the stats, and I saw that the highest viewership was 24,000 on Twitch for North American League of Legends so far this split. So that is not good. It literally has decreased by 95% since 2016 or whatever.
C9 won.
Oh, good.
Yay! Ooh, I like that transition. It's not even called LCS anymore.
I know.
What was it again?
LTA, what a great brand change.
LTA, like GTA,
Yep.
but
They stole the viewership. Grand Theft viewership.
viewership. LCS is dead.
So we want to just leave this for, a couple minutes. And like I said, it was a little bit frozen before, but if you look at it now, I mean, the meat is not frozen at all. Once you start cutting it so thinly, it thaws extremely quickly. And especially as we're going to be adding the marinade and everything to this, it will continue to thaw, if it isn't already fully thawed.
Monty, what forum do you frequent now that 4chan is offline?
I do think it's funny that 4chan is offline.
When did that happen?
Susie's very up on the news, guys. Susie knows what's going on. All right, I'm going to cut some onions now because I'm going to add this to the marinade. Once we get it in, I'm going to separate the whites and the greens because we're onion racists. Because the whites are going to be cooked in earlier with the aromatics like the ginger and the garlic that are already in the marinade, and then the greens we will add at a later time, at the end of the cooking.
Segregation, the whites and the greens.
So we're segregating these onions. These can just go in there right now.
What is your favorite Korean film? And why is it Old Boy?
Probably is Old Boy, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Probably is Old Boy. I mean, Old Boy is just so good. That trilogy is pretty good. I like Memories of Murder, which is Bong Joon-ho's first major film. Bong Joon-ho has become rather hit or miss for me. Parasite's great. We watched Okja the other night. It's very mid movie.
What kind of knife is that?
It is a Wusthof classic icon.
Hungry Pengu, you got it right. Ta-da!
I prefer German knives. Some people like Japanese knives. For me, they're a little bit too light and thin. I prefer a heavier, thicker knife. So I'm a big fan of the Wusthof Icon Classic line. This is an 8-inch chef knife. Let's check in on the Miyeok while we're at it. You can see it's steaming. Whoa, looks great. We can just let that keep going though. Okay, our meat should have had ample time to become velvety by now, so I'm just going to give this a quick pulse. Mix up our marinade again that's been sitting here. We do not want to marinate this for a long time. Again, it's not going to be necessary because of how thinly the meat is sliced. So here is our marinade. I'm going to scoot these onions to the side. We will add them later in the process. While we are here, I'm going to add a tablespoon and a half of sesame seeds.
You're making me want to go cook. It's 3:20 a.m.
Oh, one of the Euro degenerates.
3. Are you guys up at 3:20 a.m.? I am hungry. It is 4:20 in Belgium. I guess I'll cook steak right now and some rice. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so here's our marinade that we blended. You can see the consistency of it here. Look at the consistency. It's a very smooth consistency. Should be pretty watery. Go ahead and pour it out.
It's 4:20 for you. Yeah.
Blaze it. The marinade will taste delicious.
Is it delicious?
It is.
Do you sharpen your knives?
Yes.
Or do you just buy new ones?
Oh, no, I use a whetstone to sharpen them. You only need to sharpen them once every 6 months or so.
Can you show it on stream sometime?
Yes.
Says Kathmandu.
I can do a knife sharpening tutorial. On the daily, what you really need to do is this. So this is just for honing the knives. Honing is different because basically what you're doing is this doesn't sharpen your knife. What this does is it causes your knife, which could be out of alignment, to go back into alignment. Because basically at the, I'm not going to say microscopic level, it's not, that's probably not technically true. It's not technically that small. But at the very small scale, the edge of the knife will bend a little bit from side to side as you use it. And so what this does is straighten the edge up, but it doesn't actually sharpen it. And by sharpen it, I mean use a whetstone to take away very fine bits of metal on the knife to create a sharper edge again. That is a different process. You only typically need to do that about every 6 months. Honing you should do whenever you use the knife.
Funky Fair, do people use Sprite in bulgogi sauce?
Or Coke.
Yeah, or Coke.
Yeah.
My mom has definitely used old Coke before.
Yeah, flat Coke can be good. Again, it's a source of sugar and also it's acidic, so it helps to break down the meat. So here we go. Now, so we're always doing 10 things at once. We're going to make some samjang while we wait for that to marinate. You only need to let it marinate for maybe like 10 minutes, but samjang is extremely easy to make, so we can do it super quickly.
All right. Well, it's also Monty and Wolf time.
Very
so you guys can watch both at the same time to support LFN and support us.
So what we're going to use for the samjang here.
Oh, interesting. Sting says his mother uses Sprite in the samjang as well.
Interesting. We're going to use gochujang, doenjang. We're going to use some more honey. We will add some green onion and garlic, and we will add some toasted sesame oil and also a little bit of water. So this is a great sauce to dip your bulgogi in. So again, I'm going to approximate 4 tablespoons of the doenjang here. Let me get the spoon out. This is going to come down to taste mostly. So again, this is going to be an approximation. There's my approximately 4 tablespoons of doenjang. If you want it spicier, you can add more gochujang. If you want it sweeter, you can add more honey.
What is samjang, by the way?
Samjang is a combination of doenjang and gochujang that is going to be used as it's used as a dipping sauce with Korean barbecue of many varieties, including with pork belly, especially with pork belly, samgyeopsal. But in this particular instance, it is also going to be good with the bulgogi.
Doenjang is similar to Japanese miso. Can I use that as?
Yes, it is a fermented soybean that is similar to miso.
Yes. So if you have miso,
You can also just use miso.
Yeah,
it's fine.
That's fine. Sting says he's opening a new restaurant soon, about 15, 20 minutes away from Lowell Park.
Oh, cool.
And would like to invite us one day.
Well, sometimes we go to Lowell Park because we need to go to the American Embassy, which is right there. We were just there the other day, actually.
We would be able to go at lunchtime. This works out for us because what we do is send the kids off to school and then do the stream without them bothering us.
All right, we're going to add 2 teaspoons of honey to this. My honey is a little bit annoying because it's crystallized slightly, but that's okay. You can always microwave it again or heat it up using
hot
water on the outside.
Your honey is farting.
Not on stream, Susie. She finally got the joke. There's a delay there.
I was like, what do you mean? Of course it's on the stream. Oh, no.
She had brain lag. I'm going to add the 2 teaspoons of sesame oil.
Does starch syrup work? Not just honey?
Like, by starch syrup, do you mean oligo? Like the Korean corn syrup? Yes, sure, fine. I mean, I would use honey because I just think it's better, but you can use whatever you want.
Or Miyeok.
Mulia, yeah, okay, fine. Add sugar, guys. That's the instruction is add sugar.
All right.
You can also just use sugar.
Can we see the Miyeok, please?
Miyeok there's nothing to see right now. I showed it a little bit ago. Hold on. We're doing something else. We're getting distracted.
I am.
Okay, we only need 1. I'm going to use a large clove of garlic here. We really only need 1 clove of garlic because this is going to go in raw. So it's going to have a lot of very strong garlic flavor as it is.
You can't have too much garlic.
You can have too much raw garlic. Well, you can add more garlic in your samjang if you so desire. Now I'm going to cut this up very finely to maximize the garlic flavor, because the more finely you cut the garlic, the more garlic flavor you get, because that is how garlic works.
Garlic.
And also because we want to evenly distribute it throughout the samjang.
But what if we used more garlic?
No. You can add more garlic.
Maybe I will.
So similarly, I'm just going to take 1 solitary green onion.
I'm just saying, if a vampire comes to our house, it's you they're after, not me.
Well, everything has garlic in it today, Susie, so I think they will be after no people. Maybe I'm the vampire, that's why I don't want garlic. Have you considered that?
Oh my god.
The vampire was inside the house.
Oh my god. Do you have any stainless steel, carbon steel baking sheets?
I do not have any baking sheets in Korea.
I look at price tag versus aluminum pans and I cry.
No, don't buy those. That's crap. Here's what you buy. You ready? Nordic Ware aluminum baking sheets. Done. Solved your problem for you. You don't need other baking sheets. Those are the best anyway.
Why?
Why would you need a carbon steel baking? What is the point of that? That sounds annoying to maintain. Baking sheets you do not need to spend money on. That's ridiculous.
There you go, Hungry Pengu.
I think that's ridiculous. Well, I don't even know why you would need that. Maybe if you're like, look, I'm not a baker, so maybe there is a reason, but I never need that ever. Okay, so we have everything into our samjang right now. We're going to mix this up. How much water you need to add, if any, is going to be determined by the consistency, probably, of the doenjang. This is a thicker doenjang.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to start adding water to this just a little bit at a time. So I'm going to get a tablespoon of water here, and I'm just going to add a little bit because we want this to spoon nicely. So I added about a teaspoon of water there. So it's whatever consistency you want it. I was tasting it. It needs a little more honey.
More honey.
Yeah, definitely needs more honey. So I'm pretty happy with the consistency of this right now. You just want it easy to be able to dip the meat into. That's salty. But honestly, a lot of this is going to be personal taste and whether or not, like which doenjangs/gochujangs you are using.
I'm a baker. I splurge for anodized. I can't.
All right, well, you probably know better than me then.
Aluminum cake pans, but not baking sheets.
Yeah, the Nordic Ware ones I've used are generally very well regarded and have been considered fine.
But, I mean, bakers probably need pans. So
this has been going for a while. You only really need to do the Miyeok for 20 or 30 minutes. What you're aiming for here, get a ladle out. It should have like a slightly milky quality to it. We don't want to overcook it because it'll cook the flavor out of the seaweed a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. You can see that this is cooked through. And by turn it off, I mean sample it. So it probably needs more fish sauce is going to be my thought. But it definitely does not salty enough.
Just one lift. First time chat says, not sure if this is the first cooking show, but I'm loving this. Great job, guys.
Thank you. It is the first one of this iteration of the cooking show.
It's the first one this year.
Yeah. I'm just going to add probably another 2-ish teaspoons.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of soup. It needs a lot of salt right now.
You could add a little bit of soy sauce in there too.
I will probably do that.
Add to the saltiness.
No, that's good.
It's good?
Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the burner off on this, and I'm just going to cover it to keep it warm so we can have it in just a second. In the meantime, I'm going to turn this on. I'm going to turn this on probably to medium-high. It's going to take a moment for the cast iron to come to temperature, and it's going to be time to make a lot of smoke. Meanwhile, let's continue adding honey to the samjang.
What are your children's favorite foods that you cook? Well, Miyeok, for one.
Mm-hmm.
So our kids are they're kids, very basic.
One of our kids likes pesto a lot.
That's true. But like kalbitang, kalbitang stuff,
Korean soups.
seolleongtang, a lot of the Korean soups
Miso soup they like quite a
with
bit.
like a bone base. They like those things.
Seolleongtang. I make a lot of seolleongtang.
Yeah. But mostly just soup and rice. They're perfectly happy with that.
Bone broths. I make massive amounts of seolleongtang. I'll probably make 15 liters or so of seolleongtang at once, and then I freeze it. So seolleongtang is a beef bone broth soup. But that will probably never be on stream because it takes me 2 days to make it. And it's very boring.
It's just boiling a bunch of the bones forever.
Yeah. Pretty much. I'm going to move my Miyeok now.
Yeah, I got him was that for your birthday last year? The freezer?
Yeah.
I got him this, I just got him a big freezer for his birthday last year, so now we just have tons and tons of meat and Costco meat and seolleongtang.
I have a meat library.
He does.
And I have filled the freezer with meat. We made like 30 breakfast burritos for meal prep. And so that just has a bunch of breakfast burritos in there now. What else is in there?
Ice cream.
Ice cream, chicken stock, tons of chicken stock, and like bone broth.
Sting, like we were talking about that, it helps with the blood flow, it helps with the protein, but it just helps, help moms get back on their feet. That's why I had explained that to
Of the Miyeok.
of the Miyeok. He said TMI of the day: Korean mothers eat Miyeok after giving birth. I can't even tell you how much Miyeok I ate. Oh my god.
Good, try it. I need a little more honey.
No, I think it's good.
Yeah. So I had to add quite a bit more honey to this because the doenjang I was using was quite salty.
It is salty, but I don't think it needs.
No. But you can just use a little bit of the sauce. Okay, we gotta go now on the cooking of the gogi.
Uber Blackthorn,
Welcome back.
tier 1 for 6 months in advance.
Wow, thanks, man.
Thanks.
Well, we'll be here two days a week for real this time.
Woo-hoo!
So this is really going now, guys. All right, let's take a look at the bulgogi. The time has come for the bulgogi cooking.
All right, here we go.
I am using a cast iron grill pan. It is hot enough right now. We do not need to cook this for a long time. I am going to cook it in batches. I am stirring my marinade as we speak, making sure it's evenly distributed. We did marinate it probably for a little bit longer than necessary, but that's okay. This is what happens when we get distracted by you. Plebs.
Me?
No, the plebs. Okay, so it's on medium-high heat right now. Let me just turn it down a little bit. I put some vegetable oil in the bottom of the pan. We swirl it around. This will probably make smoke, so be careful about smoke detectors. What we're going to do is we're going to leave this in a single layer to char a little bit first. And then we're going to quickly, basically stir fry it in the grill pan. So we're trying to get some of that Maillard reaction onto the beef. We're going to do this in probably 2 batches. So that looks good. Turn it back up a little bit. So we probably want to just leave it there for a minute or so till we get some browning on it. And just like stir frying, we're going to want to do the single layer, brown it a little bit, quickly stir it, and then get it into this bowl.
Where are you putting it?
I'm trying to get it to focus. Hold up. It's not cooperating.
Why is it not cooperating?
Who can know? It's all right. You see,
Yeah, a little bit, just a little close. Further.
so
There we
you
go.
see we have some dark browning there on the surface. This is pretty much close to what we want. Because that's going to be the yummy bits. Yeah, here we go. Here's some good... Again, charcoal is going to be the best way to do this. So we do want some char. I like it char. So I'm going to quickly stir this around.
I can smell it. Smells sweet.
So this is a ribeye. Again, we don't need to overcook it. We just want to get that char on there because the Maillard reaction adds flavor. And we're just going to get it out of here super fast. This is not something that takes a long time to cook. Because the meat is sliced so thinly and it's already marinated.
Yeah, and again, guys, this is something you can make in a huge batch and freeze it, and
Yes.
then just take it out and cook it. Because you see how quick yeah, you can quick it you can quick it fast. You can cook it super quick. So it's just a nice.
You can
quick
freeze it
meal
raw
whenever.
in the marinade
No, that's
as
what
well.
I mean. You freeze it raw in the marinade. This is ribeye, but like, you know, if you can't.
Sirloin, tenderloin, brisket, flap steak, skirt steak.
You could use whatever kind of steak, honestly, because you're slicing it so thinly that it doesn't really matter. Oh yeah, Monty's bringing it over here so I can have a taste.
That's very good.
Wait, don't take it away from me.
Not too sweet, which is nice.
This is very gingery. It's gingerier than I'm used to.
I like it.
It is very good. Very good.
Very tender.
Does a baking soda not ultra tenderize it while it's in the freezer?
Good question. I mean, you could also just freeze the marinade separately from the beef, thaw both, tenderize it with the baking soda. To be fair, I have not tried that, so I don't know. It may.
Fibonacci. Just dropping in because I love Bulgogi. Excited to watch the VOD.
Or the edited version.
Yeah. If you're joining us now, we cut the meat like this. So if you go back and
You
watch
can buy it
later-
like this too, to be fair. You can, if you go to a Korean grocery store, you can literally buy pre-cut bulgogi meat if you want.
Yeah. But the way you cut it is if you freeze it a little bit so that it's more solid, it's easier to cut.
So I'm going to chuck in that green onion that we cut earlier. These are the green parts of the green onion.
Can I have more gogi?
No.
Oh. There's no Korean grocery store in Belgium.
Well, you can cut it yourself. Be a man or woman and cut it yourself. So the cooking process is quite quick, like many stir fries. I mean, it's very similar to a stir fry. I'm going to pour the sauce into the bowl as well. So you get some of that nice sauce in there. Sweet, sweet sugar sauce. And then we end up with this. We'll make it prettier.
Yeah, Sting, let's just go to Belgium and open a Korean grocery store. See, it sounds like it's needed over there. There might be 3 people who may want it, but you know. Sell it with K-pop and it might work.
All right, I got to clean off my cutting board real quick, guys. So I can give the glamour shots.
Are you going to use your gimbal?
Oh, it's gimbal time, baby.
You love this thing.
So we are going to be doing this 2 days a week now. So please subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Continue Cooking, youtube.com/Continue Cooking. Subscribe to the social media, Continue Cooking on everything.
Because we want you guys to continue cooking
There you go.
with MonteCristo.
And Susie.
I guess.
And not with Susie.
Susie doesn't really cook.
All right, where?
It's youtube.com/@continue cooking. One word.
And Continue Cooking, one word on all socials.
Did you say curry is next?
Japanese curry this week.
And then it's going to have the bulgogi shot. While
Where is my
Monty-
sam?
That you just put in the fridge?
There's Ganip. Okay.
Yeah, so then the other, I mean, we're doing the Korean food to start off because it was supposed to be for my birthday, but a week late, which is
Also,
fine.
we thought you guys would like some Korean food.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing Japanese food for the next 4 shows, though.
And then we went to, he's been on this Japanese food kick, especially Okinawan food, because we just went to Okinawa for Max's birthday. And, yeah, Max ate those, he loved those noodles.
Okinawan soba. Yeah, but we're going to do Japanese curry with pork katsu this week. We're doing garlic, steak and garlic rice, the Okinawan soba and rafute, which is a braised pork belly. We're doing chicken teriyaki. I think that's the next 4. With various side dishes, of course, also. So I'm just trying to make this a little prettier.
Oh, thank you very much. 15th of April. I'm 25 again.
Player 29.
Oh, am I 29 again? I guess I'd be 30 again. That's not 30 was pretty good.
She fetishizes ages before she met me, guys. I'm not sure what that means.
Fine. When did we get married? In 16? So 35, darling.
All right, here we go. So I am going to do not switch the camera to for a moment. It's going to be a dizzying affair. I'm going to hook up the gimbal.
You guys can watch him hook up the gimbal.
Oh boy, that's what everybody wanted.
You need to. The cutting board is not straight, by the way. Yeah, Okinawa is like a 2-hour flight for us. And so we left Orion with my mom. And it was a trip, just 3 of us with Max. And it was nice. Except for the one day he was a shitter. But besides that, it was great.
There's always one day.
There's always one day.
The
He's
day
fine.
of the shitting.
He's 5. It's fine. We understand.
Okay. So we have extremely fancy new technology.
So yeah, guys, we're going to do Sunday night and Wednesday night America time. And if you're in Australia, it's going to be Monday, Thursday mornings.
One moment while we get this set up, guys. Give me a second.
Okay, here you can look at the food while he sets things up.
Yeah, look at this nonsense that I'm doing right now.
5 a.m. gym time? My God.
You are dedicated.
Is beer recommended with this?
Yes, as opposed to wine. You're not going to have a good time with wine with this, I don't think.
All right, is the gimbal working? Is it too heavy?
No, it's doing its thing. Give it a second.
Chris, we have to open it up.
Would you like to come do it? Would you
No.
like to come do it?
No,
I see.
but I'm helping you by letting you know that it wasn't
You
open.
are not helping me, to be clear. You are not helping me.
I thought the plate on the right had canned tuna in it. No, it was coffee the whole time. It was a little cup of coffee.
Sorry, guys. The gimbal is a little finicky.
All right, I'm gonna go back to you. Ta-da!
So the gimbal, we're still working on it. This is not. Our editor is getting very dizzy right now. You should not be getting dizzy. Do not be getting dizzy.
Oh, that's left. Stage right. I don't know, guys. What was on the right? I don't even know what was on the right. There's no tuna. There's no tuna.
All right. So here we have our fabulous gimbal.
Would you like me to go to 2?
We're ready.
Are you sure?
Yep.
I don't want people getting dizzy.
I want them getting dizzy.
All right, ready?
Yep.
Ta-da!
So we do have the fabulous gimbal technology now. It's very useful for. Hopefully very useful. Our editor will tell me if it's actually useful or not.
With the sound effects and everything?
My sound effects.
Oh, yeah, of course. What do you think, guys? What do you think of gimbal cam? Whoa, whoa.
Yeah,
No!
you guys getting
Not
dizzy.
me!
Susie, this is unavoidable at this point in time. Not me, she shouts. We have to get the finest gimbal shots.
God, good thing I'm dressed.
What do they think of my gimbaling?
They said, I want some. Please send leftovers to Australia. I think you just hold the phone, but it looks tasty.
Yeah, you think that, but we can't get the same dynamic shots. You would be wrong, sir.
You guys want to watch how ridiculous Monty is doing this? Ooh.
We're doing it for the gram.
Okay, we good?
Are we good? Maybe.
He's still gimbaling, guys.
Every day I'm gimbling.
Yes, we have an Instagram as well. It might be called Continue Cooking.
I haven't set it up below the Twitch stream yet, so sorry, there are no social links down there yet. That's my bad.
We even have a Facebook group.
Oh my god, we do, that's right. For the Giga Boomers.
I was like, what about the Facebook? Hush.
That's where Susie spends her time these days.
True. There's 2 of us in there. Okay. food's getting cold, darling.
Doesn't matter. Doing it for the gram. Does it matter if the food is good? No. Does it matter if it looks good? Yes. That's the rule these days. I hate to break it to you, but that's how this shit works. So, now we get to do it again.
Do what again?
Do what again?
You're going to gimbal again?
We haven't gimbaled the Miyeok yet. But, in the meantime, I will show you how to do this. So,
Camera 3.
basically, we're going to make a sam, which is, I'm going to take a piece of lettuce here.
So the word sada is to wrap. So making a sam, I assume, means to make a wrap.
I'm put some purple rice, Korean purple rice in here. This is half white rice, half brown rice, and then purple rice. Very healthy. Purple rice has the same antioxidants in it that things like blueberries do. I'm going to take a nice piece of meat like that, and then I'm going to take a little bit of that samjang we made, and I put it on the top, and there you have one very beautiful sam. And what you do, you roll it up like this, and then you shove it all in your mouth.
Yeah? Yeah. All right, where's mine?
So,
You could also use a genni.
this is what's called genni. It is above please. It is a perilla leaf. It kind of has like a sesame. It's related to sesame. And it has kind of a sesame flavor to it. This is something you'll frequently see at Korean barbecues. So we can create a sam the same way. You can use rice, you can not use rice, you can use other banchan if there's kimchi. Shove that in there, whatever's on the table that you enjoy, you can put in there. So I'll put a little bit of rice in again, use my chopsticks, get a little of the samjang. And look at that, it looks delicious.
Except it's not on camera 1, so you can't see.
How's the bulgogi? Bulgogi is very
It's
good.
really good. Oh, the salmon's really good too.
Yeah, it's all very good.
I think I like it with the genni better because the genni also gives it just like a different flavor.
Yeah, genni is great. The genni adds more flavor if you want that flavor.
We could do a slice of garlic on the side too, but there's
Yes.
plenty of garlic inside the.
Yes.
The samjang
There's also
right now?
and also inside the bulgogi, there's a lot of garlic in the marinade. So you can do a slice of raw garlic on the side, absolutely. If you want more garlic, that's a choice you can make. But I don't think it's necessary per se.
All right, Monty, show us the Miyeok.
So one thing with Miyeok that you probably are going to want to do, ooh, the fade, is aggressively scissor it. We all love a good scissoring. And the reason why I'm cutting this up with scissors is just to make the Miyeok smaller, because otherwise the Miyeok can be too big and kind of annoying to eat. So this makes it easier to fit onto your spoon when you eat it. Right? And now, guess who's back to gimbling?
Look at him. Look how proud he is. All right, I'm going to camera 2. Get me out of the shot. I'm in the shot.
We'll fix it in post. Now you can see that the Miyeok has a little bit of oil on it from the small amount of sesame oil and also the beef fat that rendered out while we were cooking it. That's what makes it good.
There's a bit of a glare from the light above on the Miyeok.
Yeah, there's no light above.
Oh yeah, that's a better angle. There we go. Stop showing people our messy living room. Now, how long for cleaning dishes? Not very long. We have a dishwasher. Huzzah!
Yeah. Also, not really very long because we didn't use very much stuff, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. Now you guys can.
How do you guys like my Miyeok glamour shots? Would you eat at my restaurant?
You can watch Monty with his gimbal. Look at that.
The intense focus.
I know. Look at that concentration. How do I picture in picture?
You don't right now.
No. Never mind.
All right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. We're trying to get some more angles so that you guys can see what's going on.
And now we submerge the camera into the Miyeok for the immersion shot. Do you prefer end grain cutting board?
End grain, side grain, whatever.
Oh no, anyone else's audio a tad staticky.
Staticky?
Oh.
People haven't said that there were.
No.
It's intermittent. Great.
Oh, this is good. It's a bit crunchy sometimes, every couple of minutes, but it's very slight.
Okay, thank you. We were having some interference issues with the HDMI cable.
I'm loudly slurping so everyone can hear how wonderful this Miyeok is. Susie gimbal cam? No. Susie is...
Here, I'll show you, though, what the setup looks like without Susie. So if you switch.
You want me to switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have a auto pole. I have an auto pole that is now hooked up. Hold on, let me recenter this. Nope. Ah, that's me. I have an auto pole on the ceiling that goes the entire length of the ceiling right now. And that holds up the camera that is above the cutting board. And so that goes there. And then I will not show my wife.
Oh, you just did?
So you have massive amounts of cables over here, including the cables that are going to the gimbal. Usually this camera is here, focused at the cutting board, and then you have the camera over the stove over here. And this is where I keep all the ingredients in a mess off the camera so you can't see them.
I'm just going to obnoxiously eat.
Can you not obnoxiously switch the camera?
There we go. Jeff P. 2662.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. 15 months.
Thank you. Many more streams coming from this point forward, guys.
Yeah, we got the bar on the top because then it just stays out of the way. Like we used to have arms and stuff like that, but like, yeah, this makes it easier for us to be able to have a functioning kitchen because we have to live. This is not a studio, but also to be able to.
This is very tender. Velveting was a great success.
Oh, that was really good. Just one left. Welcome. Subscribed at tier 1.
Thank you.
You are welcome at our stream anytime, my friend. NFT Sasha. Hi, Susie, Monty, and the kiddos off screen. Kiddos are at school. Go away, kiddos.
They are off screen.
Tune into the stream, and I'm face first into a bowl of Monty's meat. That's how you like it. Don't lie. Oh, thank you.
She's just eating Miyeok.
I am. Where's my... Oh, yeah. Here's my pop and my kogi. I'm just going to put some on the...
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I can just use my spoon.
So the great thing about bulgogi is you can kind of eat it the way you want. You can put it on top of, put it on a bowl of rice. Perfectly fine. Just eat it with a spoon, like we showed you. Eat it with the sam.
You just eat it, yeah.
Just eat it straight.
That's weird. I wonder what the audio thing is. You can rewatch it and figure it out.
I can rewatch it. Will I figure it out? There's a great question. So there's the ganip or perilla leaf.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to have it with rice in there. Whatever you want. You also don't have to make the samjang sauce if you don't want to. The reason why I try and do 2 to 3 recipes per stream is because usually in about 3 hours I can do 2 or 3 simultaneously. And the idea is that each of these recipes is going to get cut up into a different YouTube video. So what I'm trying to do is get 2 to 3 5 to 10 minute YouTube videos, although the samjang one's obviously going to be probably like 1 minute long. So I'm trying to get multiple videos to have build up a significant library very quickly. It's going to be a lot of recipes very fast. Because basically if I'm doing 5 a week, say 3 recipes on one, 2 on the other one, and I'm doing it, it's going to be over 250 recipes every year.
Do I need to get you a bigger freezer?
No, I just need to plan it well. How's the bulgogi, Susie?
This one is a bit more gingery than
I like it. You don't have to use ginger in the bulgogi.
Right. But it's very good. The beef is incredibly tender.
And it's not mushy.
No. It actually feels like...
The surface texture isn't mushy.
It actually feels like tiny piece of kalbi.
Yeah. I mean,
as opposed to bulgogi.
Yeah.
Especially the first batch that you cut, because they were cut a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's good. Can you get teff in Korea to make inerja?
Injera, that's the African flatbread. Look, anything is possible.
I mean, they do have Ethiopian food here, so I'm sure there's a way.
There's probably some Ethiopian grocer we could find, or we get it on the Coupon, which is the Korean Amazon. I can look. I'd love to make some Ethiopian food. I've never done that. I really like Ethiopian food though, and injera is great.
Mm. Am I just obnoxiously eating on stream? Sorry, guys. Well, is that it for today?
I think that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any final thoughts or suggestions, complaints for the complaint box, now's the time to give them.
Just let us know. Give us your feedback.
The next stream will be Japanese curry with katsu, and it will be Wednesday night U.S. time, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. I believe that is 2:30 a.m. Thursday morning for Central European summertime. Oh, sorry, we can't do this at a good time for Europeans. Unfortunately, if I were to do a good time for Europeans and North American people, it would be in the middle of the night for me.
Yeah.
So we have to do this while the kids are at school. So we had to say, okay, we're doing it at 9. We start at 9:30 a.m. Korea time. So we try to finish in time for lunch, basically.
Its suggestion would be naengmyeon and galbi for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Can you post the recipe on X
It is
before and after streaming?
It already is. It's a Google
pinned?
Doc that is a reply to the pinned tweet on X that I have right now. With the schedule, there is a reply to that that includes a Google Doc with the recipe.
Okay.
So it's like you guys don't even look before you ask questions.
And then there's a lot of them that says, it's cool, I'm European and degenerate, so it's okay. It's 4 a.m., we're here. No worries, Chief.
And I try and post it in advance because my hope is that people will cook along in the future. And so if you guys are able to, say, take a picture while you're cooking and post it on social media, we should be able to bring that into the stream itself.
Oh, dear God, Sting, we would never make you have to do subtitles for a 3-hour video. That's just...
That is insane.
I would never do that to anyone. Having done subtitles myself...
So first off,
no.
If we're being honest these days, AI can probably take the first pass at translating. It'll be the short form video, the 10-minute video. And then from there, sanity check the AI translation, also because we're going to be using a bunch of cooking terms that it probably doesn't know. So
Funky Pharaoh says, most of us seem to be American here. Screw the Americans. Cater to you, EU time zone.
So the problem with catering to you guys in Europe is that I would have to do it when my kids are home in the evening, because it would be the evening. Korea time would be probably the middle of the day for you. So there's really no good solution for Europe right now. What you really want, Europeans, is you want me to move back to America. So I do this at 9:30 a.m. in America, and then it's evening for Europeans. That's what you want.
Yeah. But how would you do that without a producer?
Hire one.
A better one.
Nothing could replace your charm on the broadcast, Susie.
As I sit here in my pajamas eating Miyeok.
Slurping.
Mm-hmm. Here, guys, here's another great slurp for you. Did you know in Asia, slurping your noodles when you're eating soup or, things with soup is actually a sign of respect. It's showing that, like, you're eating it so deliciously that...
You're enjoying it.
Yeah, you're just like, you can't help but to slurp. And so when Americans try to, quote unquote, politely eat their soup, it's so disrespectful.
So disrespectful.
I know. When you eat something delicious, you just got to go to show the person who made it that it's so yummy. Just saying. Quiet soup eaters over here.
Have you been checking with the YouTube chat as well, Susie?
Yeah. I've got YouTube over here and I've got Twitch over here. See, that's why I need my computer.
Got it. The setup is complete. I am concerned about that crackling audio, though. That's a weird problem to have.
Next time I'm going to slurp and moan extra loud. Great. Oh, yum. Yeah, there's a lot of different cultural norms that are different. Oh, Sting says slurping noodles in Korea is not good.
Yes, Susie.
But having hot. So when you're eating a jjigae, wouldn't you go? Because I hear all the ajishis do it all the time. Orgasm right at the table. Make sure they know you love it. Yeah. Have you not watched Sleepless in Seattle? Are we done?
We can be done.
Are we just chatting with everyone?
We're just chatting.
Yeah. We're just chatting. It is now 12:30 in the afternoon for us.
Also, guys, bulgogi doesn't take 3 hours to make, obviously. If you chill your meat in advance, it's very fast. The thing is I try and show all the steps on the stream, so I literally start with room temperature meat, have to freeze it for an hour. And I was also making the Miyeok and samjang at the same time, so. And being distracted by you.
Chit chat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's half the fun. When in the stream did you chill your meat? Let's start.
Coffee and bulgogi. What a combo.
So yeah, I would say in terms of alcohol, a nice light beer.
Yeah. Beer and soju is good for this. If you want to pair this with something, I would not do wine. I mean, wine is very frequently weird. As somebody who really enjoys wine, wine is very weird with Asian food a lot of the time. I don't think you're going to have a great time with wine. I would much rather just drink a fizzy light lager with this. Something that has like a really clean taste. This is why Korean beers are these fizzy light lagers that you can drink with a shot of soju in them. It's very refreshing. You want something refreshing.
What are you talking about? I'm not ignoring YouTube chat.
Why are you ignoring YouTube
I'm
chat?
not. Oh, because he said, what is the secret to staying so handsome? But I ignored that.
Oh,
you know?
my God. How could you? Cooking. Watching this stream.
Has made you so handsome.
Watching the stream will only increase your handsomeness. Guaranteed.
The stream was very informative and fun. Thank you, Nicole. And yes, I am checking YouTube. It's right here. There's not a whole lot of people talking in it. Yeah, see? I was talking in it. I already feel 17% more handsome.
Very good.
All right, guys.
The minimum guarantee is 10, so 17 is almost double.
Oh, damn. All right, let me open this one up, and then I shall be ending the stream.
See you guys. We'll be back Wednesday, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern, 2:30 a.m. Thursday morning, Central European Summertime. Nice and early in the morning if you're in Korea or Japan or Australia. I think Australia, what, an hour ahead of us? 2 hours ahead of us?
I don't know.
You guys know. In the morning, in the middle of the day. So thank you for watching. See you next time.